brought up Bill Watts' name. What did you think of that infamous run?
I stayed as far away from Bill Watts as I could when he was there. He ruled with an iron fist. His goal was he was brought in there to save money, and rumor is he got a percentage of every dollar he saved. So I didn't want him making money off of saving me. So if if Bill Watts was in that dressing room, I went to that dressing room. And if Bill Watts was out in front by the ring, I went back to the dressing room. I don't want to say I hid, but I'd be lying if I didn't say that.
Do you have any stories about him that you may have witnessed from that time?
No, it's just that at the time, everybody thought he was a genius. The stuff he did in Louisiana and Universal was so spot on, and we were all so excited that when they brought him on, thinking that this guy was going to be the savior, finally, we're going to find somebody who's a genius, who knows how to do pro wrestling. And then he did all this stuff like, you can't do moves off the top rope. We need guys like Brian Pillman doing all this crazy stuff that was catching on, and a DQ, all kinds of DQ stuff, and he brought guys in, and I'm not going to mention their names that you wouldn't think would be the guys that would spark a territory. A lot of them were were veterans, and it had their run and brought them back. So it was just strange because everybody celebrated, and then we watched what evolved and said, what happened to the guy that was supposed to come here? Because he's not here. It's a different guy.
And what did you think of his pushing of his son?
Look, Eric was a nice enough guy. He's, in those situations, I don't blame the kids. I blame the father. The father should. I don't know Bill Watts. He probably wouldn't know me if I walked up to him because I hid from him, like I told you. But his father knows better. You don't put a kid in that situation. And push him down everybody's throat. I mean, not jumping ahead, but you can see what's going on with Roman Reigns now over the last couple of years, and what happens when you try to push someone down your throat. And Roman Reigns has way more, I don't even want to say charisma, because Eric was a charismatic guy, but way more experience and talent. And it wasn't that Eric didn't have talent, it's that nobody gave him a chance to learn the talent. They trained him for 3 weeks and put him out there and said, Michael Hayes, put him over. Arn Anderson, put him over. Bobby Eaton, make him look like $1 million, which they did. But there's only so much you could do when the guy has no experience.
And you mentioned Arn Anderson putting him over. Rick Steiner told us a story about Scott kind of snapping backstage after Arn Anderson had to put Eric Watts over, and I guess Scott confronted Bill Watts, and there was a blow up, and that led to the Steiners leaving WCW. Were you around for that?
I sort of remember the altercation. I believe that was at a worldwide taping, and I was in the ring announcing, so I had just heard about it over the headset. But I normally would have avoided situations like that anyway. But I remember that Scotty left, and then a couple of weeks, 3 weeks later, Rick left that, and I think they went to the WWE after that. Look, guys like Arn and Bobby Eaton and Michael Hayes were very well respected guys. And it's not that you're asking them to put somebody over; it's you're asking them to put somebody over who has 2 weeks in the business and is the Booker's son. And everybody but the Booker knows he doesn't deserve it. Even Eric knew he didn't deserve it. So you had to feel bad for the guy. But Scott Steiner's a hothead. He's still a hothead. I still deal with him on the Legends of Wrestling stuff that I work with every once in a while, and he's still a hothead, and he could be. So, you just have to deal with the personalities you're given. But yeah, I remember the story. I was in the ring when it happened.